Prophet had said that, if a woman passes in front of one's prayer, that the prayer is now invalidated. That is between the point where the person is standing and the point where they're going to make prostration. Not if a person is standing at the back of the mosque from there all the way up to the front of the mosque. No. But what is directly in front of them, as the Prophet described it as بَيْنَ يَدَيِ الْمُصَلِّي, between the two hands of the one praying. Means really within the close vicinity of their prayer. That we should avoid doing so. If one does so, one seeks forgiveness, one may do so in ignorance, one seeks forgiveness from Allah for the particular act, and they should find out if the person was involved in some kind of, thing of worship, etc., which is beneficial, that one should also take the prayers that the one was doing and use them in our own individual prayers. In terms of the person who has been crossed, you see somebody wanting to try to cross in front of him, Prophet said he could stop that person. And if they're insisting, he could, forcibly stop them. Beyond that, of course, then one has to give up. But, one should not just allow people to walk back and forth in front of oneself, and others. This is something which is forbidden according to Islamic law. We have a question now from Abdullah Rashid from Dubai. He writes, does the copy of a translation of the Holy Quran carry the same sanctity as that of the Quran Kareem in Arabic? Well, first and foremost, we have no such thing as the Holy Quran. We have people refer to the Holy Bible, but for us we may say the glorious Quran, the noble Quran, etc. These are the expressions which are used by Allah to describe the Quran. We don't go into calling it holy because this is not from the terminology of the Prophet ﷺ or his companions or that of Allah in the Quran. So it's the Quran. Does the copy of the translation of the Quran carry the same sanctity as that of the Holy Quran? Again, Holy Quran, of the Quran in Arabic. The point here, what is our point here? The point that the person is really asking about, this is Abdullah Rashid, he's asking really, the Arabic Quran is known that you don't touch it if you don't have wudu. If a person doesn't deal with it, rejects it, for example, one may become a disbeliever. One only reads it, in times of Ramadan, then one has abandoned it. Of course, it's not good. But when we are comparing between the translated text, of the Noble Quran, and that of the Arabic text, there is a difference. The Arabic one is the one we use in our prayers, but the English one conveys to us the meaning, so we can understand what it is we're praying about. That is very important. Now, do they carry the same sanctity? No. The translation of the Quran doesn't carry the same sanctity as the Arabic Quran, which represents the exact words of Allah. Naturally, there has to be a difference in terms of how one looks at both of these texts. And one may easily give the English translation to non-Muslims, no worry, because it isn't the Quran. When one comes to the Quran, then one should have a certain amount of care in terms of how it's distributed, not just given to anybody who may not care about it, end up throwing it in the garbage, etc., but giving it to somebody who has expressed real interest in it. This is how Islam would deal with the issues of Quranic translation as well as the translation of the Quran. Our next question is from Dr. Shakil Khan in Sharjah. He writes, what is the conception of entertainment in Islam? Of course, this is a big thing for us today. So much money has been spent on entertainment. The whole entertainment industry, spends so much money on itself to draw customers, etc., etc. We know it. Now, conception of entertainment, in Islam, is that Islam does not deny entertainment. We may entertain ourselves, but in ways which are beneficial. It encourages benefit. Our forms of entertainment may be horseback riding, the Prophet taught, or archery, which includes now, shooting, going to the shooting range, learning how to use weapons and these type of things. He also included swimming as a form of entertainment, and there's other ones where it showed he also involved himself in wrestling with others, some kind of a competition of this type. These are all good in Islam and useful. The Prophet ﷺ encouraged them. But where we find entertainment, like for example cricket, cricket for the individual doesn't really bring in too much value in terms of self-development, etc. Similarly with soccer and some of these other games like basketball, where people become obsessed with them. And I remember seeing a picture recently in the newspaper, of this Pakistani gentleman, an older gentleman with a big white beard in one of the places in England where they just had a competition between Pakistan and some other country. And then Pakistan had won, and here's this man, with his hands up in the air, his head back, his white beard, his mouth open. He's just really at the height of emotional whatevers, over a win in a cricket game. I mean, this kind of emotional outpouring, this should be saved for God. We shouldn't become so involved and tied up in these things. We become partisans, screaming for the side to win, booing the other side, and becoming quite negative in general. So I would say that, entertainment in Islam has a place. It's what is stressed basically as the forms which are beneficial. And then, of course, these may have taken on, modification with the technology, etc., to produce them. We may do them, but we should not allow them to take up all of our time. Allow them to delay our prayers. Sometimes people, the time for prayers come, but they're watching this match on the television or whatever, and they don't want to leave because they might miss a goal or whatever. No, it's dangerous. It's dangerous because we should never allow the love of the things of this world to blind us to what is pleasing to Allah in the next. We should try to do whatever we can, whatever He has commanded us, and to avoid whatever we can of the things that He has forbidden us. We can do the things that He has permitted us to do, and there's so many things. The things which are permitted are far outnumber the things which are forbidden. We have to believe that the forbidden things are forbidden because Allah feels or knows that there is no benefit in them, and the benefit is far less than the harm which comes from them. So He avoids them, tells us to avoid it. And that's how we should basically conduct ourselves. Try to find the halal or the acceptable ways, and there's so much that can be done with it. And try to avoid the other forms of entertainment, which really just heighten one's desires for entertainment and want to do this thing more and more and more, as opposed to finding solace, finding help and comfort with God, Lord of all the worlds. The second question by Dr. Shakil was, is humor permitted in Islam? I mean, it's an extension of a question we had earlier. Humor, of course, is permitted. Prophet ﷺ joked with his companions, joked with others. So humor is permitted. But it should stay within the bounds of what is honest and true. One should not, as I mentioned earlier, Prophet ﷺ had forbidden that one should tell lies in order to make people laugh. So we don't entertain by lying, We entertain by telling the truth. So many things happen in our lives which are quite funny. We can pass these on for others to enjoy. They may pass it on to others. Where the truth is being circulated, but it's being circulated, as a means of entertainment for people. Of course, as I said, that humor, is permitted. Humor, entertainment, a form of entertainment, is permitted, but we use what is true and what is halal. Whereas lying, what it does is it breaks down our sense of shyness with regards to things which are permitted of lying, and then it becomes easy to lie on major issues, So in Islam, we try to avoid humor which involves lying, but we can stay with that which is wholesome and true. We have so many true incidents which happen in our individual lives which are quite funny. We should try and find those and share those with others. And with that, dear viewers, I'd like to thank you for being with us in this segment of our program, In the Light of Islam. It's a program produced and promoted by Sharjah Television for the benefit of its viewers, giving them clarity in certain areas of Islamic law, certain areas of Islamic questions, in order to help them to better understand their religion, and for non-Muslims to understand Islam itself. And we hope that you will continue to follow our programs in the coming sessions. You may write to me at P.O. Box 111, Sharjah Television, the program known as In the Light of Islam. Or you may try to contact me at the Discover Islam Center in Dubai at 04-396-2190. 04-396-2190. With that, dear viewers, I'd like to thank you for being with us in this segment of the program, and we hope to see you again in the future. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.